100 mark. We're going to have, I guess, a hell of a Forsage presentation. Maybe a turnout of over 300 this time. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, it's quality over quantity.
We just hit 104.
We're happy to have anyone who is able to join us for the call. And did you set the auto entry, John?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
112.
All right, good people. Let us know where you guys are logging in from, or perhaps you're on your phone, calling in. Hit us up in the chat. Tell us where you're. I'll give you guys a shout out for all of the people who are joining us today. We've got Johannesburg. Hello, hello, hello. I'll give you guys a little bit of time. Miami, what's going on over there? At South Africa. The South Africans are always in the house. South Africa. I just posted something on my Telegram that apparently South Africa and other African countries are searching Bitcoin on the internet more than anyone, I think. We've got Zambia. Who else have we got? We got North Carolina, Fayetteville. What's going on? Pakistan is in the house. Texas. Good. We've got a nice turnout today. Sweden. Hey, what's up, Anna? Anna from our power team. She's always in the house. Good to see Anna. So again, as you all know, we are going to do just a more detailed overview, and then on the second half, we will do a Q&A as we always do. So if you're able to stay with us and hopefully get all those questions answered, well, I don't know if we'll be able to get to all of them. We have some extended calls sometimes, but however, though, we look forward to answering as many questions as possible to get you guys all clear and up to speed about things with Forsage that you may not be clear on. Again, you guys, like I said, are in for quite the ride. If you're new, and for those of you guys that have been around a while, you already know what's going on. All right, Forsage is here to stay. Now, again, to get involved with the platform, you will need a application to interact with the smart contract, either MetaMask for PC, all right? And if you're on mobile, and of course, you can always import your wallets over from one, let's say, for example, from MetaMask over to Trust Wallet, likewise, Trust Wallet over to MetaMask. You can transport your Ethereum wallet. So that's one of the beauties of having these, type of wallets. But also, too, just to make sure people are aware that with Trust Wallet, they just discontinued the compatibility with smart contracts. So, and that's only on iOS. So let me make sure that I make that clear that that's only on iOS that you would be having that issue with. So there are other options. Token Pocket, as you can see here, this is the correct logo because apparently there are two Token Pockets available. So make sure that you download the right one, and I will, once we get through the overall presentation, we'll head over and show you guys exactly which site you need to be on to download these applications. All right, so again, my name is Tamik, and it is most definitely a pleasure, as always, to be here with you guys and to share and explain as best I can how Forsage works. I think I've got it down pretty good after all these months now doing these Zoom calls. And for those of you guys who are wondering if you can see the video later, I will upload it to my YouTube channel. As you can see here, this is a QR code if you want to hover your phone over that. And of course, you can always type in Experience Crypto 24/7, and that'll take you right on over to my channel. All right. All right, so let's get to it. This is essentially how the contract works. All right, so you are coming into two separate programs, right? We have the active side and we have the team build side. Okay, so the active side, again, you're actively bringing in referrals, and there are 3 positions under your income slots. And these are what I would say digital licenses for income streams, all right? So again, they have 12 separate income streams on each of the programs. But again, when you're coming into this, again, effectively, you are coming into 2 sides, or rather 2 programs. And of course, like I said, the X4 is a team build that has 2 rows. As you can see, the top row and then the bottom row there. But it will explain more in depth how that works. You are always tied to your sponsor. right? So again, when you sign up with someone, you'll always be connected to their account, so to speak, or to their sign up link. So you'll always, and respectively, when people sign up using your link, the same process, they're always going to be connected to you. And there's a small caveat of someone overtaking their partner, but we'll explain that here shortly in a little bit as well. Now, keep in mind, too, with a lot of programs, you do have these expirations of your packages or your income slots or something to that effect. But these, once they're activated, these income slots are perpetual and they do not expire, okay? And of course, they do automatically reinvest once you fill up the last position, and that will recycle through and start the process all over again, thus creating our perpetual income cycles, all right? So moving on, let's go, hang on one second, into how the breakdown, when we see these income slots, what it looks like. So again, as you can see, there are 12 on each level, or rather on each side of the program. And ultimately, if you're opening up all of these income streams, you're opening up 24 income streams that are happening all the time. Payments are coming in multiple times per day from both programs. So they do work in parallel with each other, okay? Now, keep in mind that when we enter the program, we do all open up income slot 1 on X3 and X4. And as you progressively move up, you do have to buy them individually and separately. So keep in mind that you can't, a lot of people want to come in and just upgrade to level 8, right? But you do have to purchase each one of the income slots, which happens to be double what the previous income slot was before that, right? So again, 0.025 to go up to the next income slot, it's going to be 0.05, likewise 0.1, 0.2, 0.4 as you start to move on up, okay? So, and again, the way that it will break down, on the X4 is very much the same, right? You're going to move up through the income streams, having to progressively move up individually. Again, when you purchase when you initially register, again, like I said, you do go into both programs at the same time, but you will also have to purchase your income slots separately on X4, separately from X3, okay? And moving on. So as I said before, that 0.05 will get you into income slot 1 of each of the programs, okay? That's 0.05 divided in half. 0.025 goes into each of those income slots to purchase, which effectively will go up to your upline or your higher partner. And that effectively is what has to happen for all of us when we first enter into Forsage, okay? So let's talk about X3 and the breakdown of how it would work. All right, so when you purchase, or rather you fund your Ethereum wallet, whether you do that on Trust Wallet or whether you do that on your Token Pocket or MetaMask, you will have your wallet, right? So let's say this circle is going to represent you as a participant, okay? And that's your wallet as well. Now, when you're bringing someone into X3, again, remember, you're actively bringing referrals in, right? So when people come into X3, they can only come in to X3 if you've referred them into X3, right? But that first position, once it fills up there, that payment will actually go directly to your wallet. There is no waiting for the payment to come in, aside from the time that it takes to be confirmed on the Ether chain, on the Ether chain or Ethereum blockchain, Etherscan. Now, of course, when the second payment comes in, likewise, it will also go to you instantaneously, right? So again, no having to manually withdraw from the platform. It's an instantaneous thing, and that is a beautiful part of the system, most definitely. Now, keep in mind that 2 payments, as we said before, it happens to be what you will need, the exact amount of Ethereum to upgrade to the next income slot, right? So when you first go through, your first cycle, you do want to go ahead and take that opportunity to upgrade to level 2, all right? For example, if you were here on level 1, and yeah, this way you'll make sure that you don't miss any payments, but we'll talk about that later on here as we go through the next couple of slides. Now, the third payment coming in is what we call the re-entry or the reactivator, right? And it's what recycles the entire income slot all over again, all right? So again, once that happens, that's going to end up going directly to your sponsor, all right? So the re-entry always will be a payment that goes directly to your upline, okay? Whoever referred you into the program. And that will start the process all over again as we recycle. Again, it's the same for each of the levels. If you were to go to level 2, it'd be the same thing. you know, you have your position, right? And then you have the payments that come in, they fill in, and the process starts all over again. All right, so with X4, let's talk about how this goes, because it can be a little confusing for people when they first become involved with it, but it's actually quite easy to understand once you've gotten your mind around it. So again, there are two levels, right? Or two rows, if you want to think of it, you know, when you first, well, basically when you get in someone, again, as they come into the program, they are going to enter into the X4 as well on level 1. But of course, you can have a team build here where you do get what we call spillover. But effectively, again, that first row, right, when you see someone coming in on the first row, that payment's actually going to go to a higher partner, perhaps your sponsor or perhaps someone else who's in your team, right? Now, again, this is where the first row comes in. That first row, as you can see, once those two positions are filled, you filled up the two positions on the first row, and that payment will go to either a higher partner or your sponsor. All right, so this is where the beauty of, you know, getting paid on X4 comes in, is that the bottom row is where you get paid. Okay, so your payments as they come in, likewise, two payments that come in happen to be when you add them together, what it would take to upgrade to the next income slot. All right, so again, make sure that you do take advantage of doing that when you can. Now, again, it's not compulsory, so to speak. It's not mandatory that you have to upgrade because that isn't an automatic thing. Whereas with the recycles, it is automatic. But anyways, though, again, we want to use those payments to upgrade, and you can think of the third payment that you can see here as, you know, money that you can just go ahead and pocket and put to the side and save it for later if you'd like, whatever the case. But regardless, these payments that come in, they do come into your wallet instantaneously, as we said before, without having to withdraw from the platform. So again, a beautiful part of this system is that, again, the payments go instantaneously to you. Now, again, where the last payment comes in, as I said before, that will be what is the re-entry or the recycle, and it restarts the entire process all over again. That payment will go to your sponsor. That payment for the recycle positions, that payment does always go directly to your upline, as opposed to a higher partner or someone else who's in the matrix. All right, and as I said before, it cycles all over again. It would be the same once we go to level 2. The process is the same. You've got row 1 and row 2, okay? All right, so again, the overtaking and the overflow and all these kind of things that you'll see on the X4 only, right? Well, you'll see a variety of different colored circles. Well, basically just 4 different colored circles, either your people that you brought in yourself, all right, that they may fill up all of those positions, or it could be a combination of any of these other circles or positions, right? So again, as you can see, that there's overflow. The light colored circles are overflow from above, right? And the darker blue colored circle is going to be overflow from below. And the pink circle, which you'll see, you can also see that pink circle on your X3, and that ultimately means that someone in your downline, or perhaps your own referral, has overtaken, right? Well, actually, I'm sorry, that would happen only in the case of someone who you've referred has overtaken them, and you'll find this circle that pops up in your team build, okay? So again, the overflow and the overtaking, again, it's a combination, as you can see, of different colored circles that effectively what will happen is the X4, you do rotate out into different positions, right? So it doesn't always, so with X3, we know that you are always connected directly to your sponsor. And X4, and this is the beauty of it, and this is what makes it a more even playing field, so to speak, and a more fair playing field, is that you can be rotated in to and become a higher partner, because as I said before, in the first row, those 2 positions can effectively be you, right, when you rotate in. But of course, the caveat is that you do have to have paid for that income slot, right? So, but anyways, let's move on and talk about the actual, and I think that these are, I did this last week with these prices, and I think they're roughly the same right now. But just so you guys can kind of get a gauge for what, you know, kind of payments in terms of US dollars that you're looking at with the Ethereum, based on where it is right now, the value of Ethereum. Now, the value of Ethereum does fluctuate. It is a cryptocurrency. As you all know, the second most in terms of, well, market cap, it is the second most popular cryptocurrency. So no doubt about it, Ethereum is here to stay. It's going to continue to grow as well as more and more people begin to adopt cryptocurrency. Now, in my opinion, and I would say that many others feel the same way, that Ethereum is highly undervalued. Now, it's already seen an all-time high of roughly $1,700. So right now, we're in the kind of lower ballpark of, where Ethereum could be valued, and it most definitely will go up again. But right now, again, with the current values of Ethereum, 0.025 is around $6, right? So when you're getting in payments either on X3 or X4, each of those payments that come in $6 or so per payment, that's not that much, but again, it does add up over time. When you recycle over and over and over again through, let's say, either income slot 1 on X3 or X4, you're going to be receiving quite a substantial amount of money as it begins to grow, right? Now, again, as you start to move up through the different levels, as you can see, obviously, we're getting into much higher levels of, value. 0.8 Ethereum is roughly $194. Again, 1.6, 389 each time you're getting in a payment, whether on X3 or X4. And they get pretty substantial, obviously, as we start to move up into the higher levels. When you get into 6.4, who wouldn't want a $1,500 payment multiple times over, right? And that could happen multiple times per day. There are partners out here who are receiving, these large payments multiple times per day. Right now, again, entering into Forsage, it only roughly cost us around $10, right? Now there are different strategies with respect to, coming into the program and sharing it with other people, because we know that right now still, things have subsided to some degree, but, the world is still kind of in a financial crisis. Globally, there are a lot of people who are still very much affected by the, pandemic and the, things that have happened as a result. Many people are really down and out right now, right? So the people are certainly much more open to listening to these type of programs and, trying to find out other ways of earning income. And online, decentralized is the way to go, right? So we have this platform, this smart contract that can never be, as you all saw in the intro video that I showed earlier, and many of you all already know how smart contracts work, but once they're set onto the blockchain, they can't be changed, not by the developers. They can't be hacked into. It's encrypted. So again, we have a base, right, where we can actually build our business with these income streams, and by sharing it with other people, this is always working for you in the background. So it's something to, not take lightly, and especially, at these very unprecedented times. I mean, it's just, chaos out there, and, people are certainly changing their lives already with, respect to starting in Forsage, growing their network, sharing this with other people. And, many people have filled up all 24 of their income slots, right? So when you're getting in payments of $12,000, right? That's amazing, right? And this is happening perpetually. Once these income slots are open, they cannot be shut down, all right? So let's keep it moving. The recommended positions to open, or income slots to open, roughly, people are coming in on average and opening up to the 3rd level on X3 and X4, right? Now, keep in mind that if you're opening up your X3 income slots, you do want to have people coming behind you, right? So I always try to be as honest with people as possible that, you don't want to necessarily open up your income streams on X3 up to, level 7 or 8 if you don't have any partners that you're going to be bringing with you, right? Now, if you have partners that you're bringing on, you definitely want to open up those income slots so that they don't overtake you, right? Because what happens is, if you get, and here's a couple of ways too that you can get overtaken. Basically, if you have a partner who comes in and they decide to go into income slot 2 before you don't get the payment. You're not entitled to receive that payment. And we don't want to leave any money on the table, right? So this is why we say that if you do know you're bringing people in, to go ahead and upgrade. Another way that people can also miss payments is, and this is where the caveat of the way the system was designed, that after you have filled up your first positions, let's say on position 1, 2, and 3, and this happens on any of the income slots where you need to upgrade. If you have gone through a full cycle, right? So let's say you fill up 1, 2, 3, and you have not yet upgraded, right? And if you get in a, let's say, a fourth partner who fills in this would clear out. And what would happen is your income slot will go into a holding pattern, right? To where you don't receive payments, they'll go on up to your upline. So this is what the system has been designed to do and incentivize people, because who wants to miss, payments of $25 or $100 or, $1,500, which I'll show some examples here of people who have missed payments. And it's no fun when you see that kind of money left on the ground. Well, not on the ground, but it's going somewhere. If you miss it, it doesn't feel very good. So, but upgrading is important. Again, like I said, if you're going to do that on X3, maybe start out to, the third position, but many leaders are coming in and going ahead and upgrading all the way to level 6 or 7, when they first enter into the program. So they're ready and they're in position to bring in their team. Now, again, on X4, as you know, the spillover does happen in a way where people within your team, as they're upgrading and as that happens, you can be rotated out into position to become a higher partner for someone else in your team. And this is where you're going to see what we call spillover. And effectively, you will get positions filled up, as we already showed before, with the different colored circles, whether it's coming from above or whether it's coming from below. But again, if you haven't yet upgraded, then those payments will find someone else who has upgraded. Okay. So to keep it simple, that's essentially what happens when you are not in position, for example, on X4, right? The system is going to find someone for that payment to go to. And this is why you want to go ahead and get, on X4 in particular, as high up as you're able to do as soon as you're able to. All right. Because again, there's people there are many thousands. I think it's, everyone has opened up income slot 1. And I think it's 201,000 or so that have opened up income slot 2. And income slot 3, I think it's into the 100,000 people, something like that have all upgraded to level 3. And as you get up into the higher levels, fewer and fewer people have upgraded, which actually gives you a better percentage, chance of being in position to receive spillover, because there's far fewer people who've gone into these higher levels. In particular, from 9 to 12, it's very few people who've gone to those higher levels. Okay, so but again, the recommended is again roughly to go ahead and upgrade to level 3 on both X3 and X4. All right, so just a quick, kind of glimpse at, just an example of someone who, didn't bring in a lot of partners, and there's many, many more people. This is a kind of old example, but just to show that you don't have to have a lot of partners, right, to earn. And this person is, this is again an old screenshot, but just goes to show that when they brought in 6 partners, they had already earned up to, $3,400 and something, right? Now, they did have some power players that came in, as you can see. They had someone who came in and upgraded all the way to level 12 and 11. And this, unfortunately caused this person to miss several payments as a result of, not being in position with a higher income slots opened, right? So as you can see, multiple payments can be missed. And this has happened, unfortunately, to many members, right? Because again, if you don't upgrade the system, it's not going to, play favorites. If you haven't upgraded, then you are not in position to receive those payments. And again, we don't want to leave any money on the ground or on the table, So this is, again, examples that you might see, and we'll go through the back office as well too, maybe more so during the Q&A, so we can save some time to, get more specific questions answered. If people are seeing these kind of missed payments and whatnot, or seeing maybe some icons that they're not sure exactly what's going on. So that is that. And yeah, like I said, let's go ahead. I wanted to show right quick examples of, let me minimize this. First of all, MetaMask. Many of you all who are already on the call are familiar with MetaMask, but perhaps some of you who've not yet joined the program, you do need to have this installed onto either, you have 3 separate, hang on one second, let me scroll down. Let me type in and take it to the main page where you'll see that if you download, you can put this onto 3 separate browsers. I'm using it on Chrome, but it is available on Firefox and Brave browsers as well. Okay, so again, you will need that to interact with the contract. You can't just take a referral code and put it into the search field here and just go to town. You first have to make sure that you have this application installed. Likewise, on your phone, like I said, Trust Wallet is what we use on mobile. Now, it's saying that it is available on Apple, on iOS, but it's actually, they just this month, maybe about a week and a half ago, discontinued the compatibility. But as I said, for Android, it is still available. So for all of you guys who are Android users, this does not affect you. And I don't think that there will be anything in the near future with respect to the app not working with Forsage. Now, again, as I said, you can use Token Pocket on Android and on iOS. And this is definitely a good replacement. I have used it. I've imported my own MetaMask wallet over to Token Pocket as well so that I can use it with Token Pocket. So, for those of you guys who already have MetaMask on your PC and you want to be able to use it or use your wallet and, be on the go with Forsage, because no doubt, I mean, things are happening all the time. So you might most definitely be on the go and need, for whatever reason, to upgrade, or you might need something, right? And so you want to be able to access Forsage mobile as well, okay? Now, the on-ramp. Now, there are several, I think, John, if you could, are you there? Because I wasn't able to hear yet. Are you able to speak up yet, John? Are you there? Yes, no, maybe? I don't know why I'm not getting John's mic. All right. Anyways, you guys are, sorry. Everyone else is hearing me. Let me check on the chat box, make sure that everyone can hear. All right. Are you guys hearing me okay out there? Yes, no, maybe? Yes? Yes, yes, yes. All right. Good news. Yeah, I don't know why I can't hear my co-pilot as I normally would, but no problem. Yeah, something I guess is wrong with my own stuff here. But however, though, we'll keep it moving. But John, if you can't hear me, yeah, if you can put the link for people, and we have a variety of different countries, and we've pulled all together and aggregated all the different places that for many different countries where you can find cryptocurrency and easily be able to fund your wallet. But crypto.com is a relatively well-known place where you can essentially download the app. Let me close this. I got all this stuff here on my screen. Let me X this out. Now, what you would do is essentially you download the app, all right, and you can use your credit card, debit card, and be able to access and load your cryptocurrency, or rather be able to buy cryptocurrency through the app, right? So you essentially, as you can see, I'll scroll on down and give you guys a glimpse of the website. But effectively what you're doing is you just add with your, like I said, credit card or debit card, money onto the app, and then you can buy directly from the app there, okay? Likewise, there is Luno, which works very similar in that essentially you can connect either your bank account or your debit or credit card. As you can see, sign up, deposit your money, either choose your preferred payment method like bank transfer or credit card to add your money. And then there you go, boom. You add how much you want and then go ahead and buy, in this case, Ethereum, right? So that you can fund your Ethereum wallet with money that crypto that you've purchased via one of these apps, okay? So be aware of that. There is also, let me show this. Now this is currently only for US, but for people who are curious, an easy way to be able to get your Ethereum into a spendable format, right? Now I've got this myself. I'm actually, like I said, here in Atlanta, where I have, because I'm normally based in the in Europe, and they were not able to ship me my card, even though I'm a U.S. citizen, but I was able to go ahead and KYC, because they do KYC for this particular. So for those of you guys that are in the States, this is an easy way to be able to load, for example, your Ethereum onto your card and then use it like you would normally with any other debit card. All right, so I do have my card in hand here with me now, but of course you do get a virtual card that you can use online for online purchases and things like that, which I've used several times, in particular to buy precious metals like silver and gold. And they didn't allow for crypto payments, but I was able to use my Ethereum that I've used and just basically use that in place of my own debit card. But yeah, so again, this is one option to be able to get your crypto into a spendable format and use it just like you would any other debit card. All right. So with that, let me see, where are we looking? Let me refresh this. Ethereum is, yeah, around $232 per Ethereum. So we are doing okay right now. I think it went up as high as 250 something, maybe last week. All right, so Ethereum is definitely doing very good. All right, so we'll have a slightly different, because normally we let people have the floor to ask their questions on the mic, but I will go ahead and read through some of the questions. So if you guys would just put your questions there. For those of you guys, like I said, if you have questions in particular, go ahead and shoot them at me and I'll read through and try and answer as many of you guys as I can. So do we have any specific questions that I can answer for you guys? All right, so Lavina, yeah, go ahead and ask your question. Yeah, I see you there. What was it that you were curious about? Ah, okay. This is a lengthy question here. All right, now so you're asking, like, is it a business? Is this a business, and what type of business is it? Now keep in mind that Forsage itself is not a business. Effectively, it's an open source smart contract that anyone can, they themselves, start a networking business, because that's essentially what this is, a networking, a matrix networking system, right? Where we bring people into this and they ultimately, choose, do they want to get involved and purchase these income streams? Yes, they can come into it and, purchase the income streams. But again, it isn't a business in the sense that you have some centralized location that needs a business license and so on and so forth. Again, what it is a system that ultimately people are coming in, as I said before, to put money into these income streams that they can then effectively become the licensee, right? That they can then license out these income streams once that they have paid for it themselves. Let me read through some of these other questions here. I understand the term crowdfunding has been used to describe this opportunity. Why is this term used? Well, effectively, crowdfunding, it means that people are supporting each other, right? When you put money into crowdfunding, you're effectively funding, right, to help with the group of people, right? So it's basically people supporting each other through the means of, well, adding into a fund, right? And there isn't a centralized pool, right? We know that this is peer-to-peer, so it's not in the sense of something like, GoFundMe or platforms out there where you can just essentially add to a pool, right, that someone is going to then use for whatever, maybe a business that they're going to start, or for someone who's in need of money, right, for medical services or whatever the case is. So yeah, it's not in the sense of, it's a peer-to-peer system, so it's not really crowdfunding in the traditional sense of crowdfunding. What does your initial 0.25 go to? Well, it's 0.025. Now, again, that is to open up the income slots, all right? So when that's opening up income slot 1 for both X3 and X4, all right? Let me go ahead and get to some of the other questions, because that was a pretty lengthy thing there. So let me answer some more of the questions so we don't drag it out too much so I can get to some of the other people. Who do we have next here? Alan Rodriguez. All right. So you're saying, how do I get started if I just landed here? Well, again, coming into the program, you're going to need to make sure that you have someone's affiliate link, right? Whoever shared this with you or brought you to the Zoom, you want to get their affiliate link and go through the steps of adding it here into the search bar or search field, and then you're going to come down to join. And I'm already logged in, so I think it's going to take me. Actually, I'm not. Yeah, so I can show this right here. But again, what would happen is you would come in and hit the automatic registration. Now, if you want to be double sure, because we have had issues, I think that it's resolved, but we have had issues in the past where, again, people are unfortunately getting linked with someone that they didn't intend to be. So again, what you can do here is once you've seen what that link ID is, you can retype it. That happened to be mine there. And I'm going to hit enter. And that's going to bring it up, as you can see here. The URL has the entire, it shows also the upline ID. So this way we can be triple sure that we have the right sponsor. All right. Now, I'm not going to purchase, or start an account underneath myself. But however, as you can see here, that is very high on the gas fees, but I don't think the gas fees are quite that high. It must be something wrong that I did here. But effectively, though, this is how you're going to register. You're going to go ahead and put your uplines, like I said, their affiliate link into the URL there. Let me close this out. And that will get you on board with the platform. Now, let me go ahead and log in just to show right quick how the back office looks. I didn't actually go through a live back office view, but we can do that. Because for people, a lot of people do try to come and log in, but they don't realize that they have just typed in, perhaps you can do it like this, and you can go into view mode, right? Now, if I go into view mode, I'll show this because this has already come up even a couple of times with my own team where people, they are in view mode. As you can see, there's a icon that has the eyeball there. But again, if you are in this mode, you won't be able to upgrade. And effectively, that's the only thing that you can't do. Everything else is functional. Everything else is accessible. You can see a lot of things. But if you do come in through view mode, when you click onto this, you're going to get this message. Okay, that happens whether or not you're on mobile or whether or not you're on PC. So you want to make sure that you log into the live. Let me log out and show how you would do it live. So you hit authorization. Now this is going to bring up MetaMask again, asking me to sign in, effectively giving MetaMask permission to interact with the contract so that you can then make purchases and so on and so forth. Now this has me now in the live view. All right, so you guys can see the difference on that. Let me come back to the chat and answer some more specific questions. And I think John probably has answered some of the questions. I'm not sure, but I'll continue through. And so what is the exact formula for X4 income? And that was coming from Happy Singh Technical. Hey, so again, with X4, as we said, it is a team build, right? So the regularity, as we tell people with spillover and how it grows, is something that you can be in complete control of it. If you have a team, let's say that you brought in just 3 people, right? Those 3 people could follow you through all of the different income streams. All right. Now, obviously, if you had 3 people who also on X4 upgraded, they could fill in positions on the first row, but that third position would be a payment that goes directly to you. Now, of course, if you want to bring in more people, obviously those people would come in and you could control that situation again yourself in terms of growing your team directly, right? But again, if you have, if you're getting, if you're not comfortable bringing people in, you're essentially at the mercy of your team's activity, right? And I don't want to say mercy, but at the same time, if you have a team that is very active, you're going to see more activity in your spillover positions here versus if you sign up with someone who doesn't. Let's say you sign up, you have an upline who doesn't have any referrals themselves. You know, you might have been like one of 5 people, but yet they're not growing, or they have other people. Those other people, if they're not growing, then you're effectively in a team that's not going to see much activity in the spillover. Yes, we can receive spillover from outside of our own lineage or of our team. But again, it's even more rare than it is when you are in an active team, and you're usually getting spillover within, I think, the 2 levels of your team is where it most commonly is going to come from in terms of the rotations of X4. But again, like I said, when you come into X4, you do open up that first income slot. Let me click on that. And as you can see, my upline here, in this case, the X4 wallet here on income slot 1 is connected. But if I were to click over to the second income slot, as you can see, it shows a different partner who is effectively, they are now the higher partner that's rotated out into this position on X4. So this is the beauty of X4, is that it doesn't stay fixed to your direct sponsor. It can rotate out and be several different people within your own team, right, who become either the higher partner, that those payments on the first row would end up going either to them or perhaps to a direct sponsor. All right. So, but that's how X4 works. Again, we try to make sure that people understand there isn't a set format with respect to a regularity that you can predict, because people upgrade at different times, and there's a lot of different scenarios that can play out with respect to that. Are you guys seeing the screen okay? Yes. Can everyone hear me good? Yeah, sorry, John. Yeah, he's sending me a message saying that he can't really do anything. Yeah, again, if you want, again, as John is actually giving me a suggestion to restart the call. Now we've got 220 something people still left on the call. Now, again, this is a rare thing. This has not yet happened before, where effectively my sound has cut off, but I could restart the Zoom call if you guys would like. Otherwise, I'll just continue to go through and answer questions as best I can, which I'm a bit more kind of handicapped here without having my co-pilot in position, but no problem. I think we're getting through okay. Who is this? HK is asking me. Yeah, you guys are hearing me okay, but yeah, unfortunately, I'm not able to hear you guys if you guys wanted to ask me questions directly. But again, I'm just going to read through as many of these as I can before I drag this out too much. We've already gotten to the 1 hour mark, so probably won't go as long as we normally do with these calls. Who's asking? Restart, Avantasia. Hey, yeah, we've seen you multiple times, but he's asking for a restart, please. Yeah, my apologies reading through these through the chat here. But let me see with, okay, now HK, I'm going to go ahead and answer you on this one. I don't know if ID 111. Can you answer me what it was, what questions you had about ID 111? If you could write that in the chat. And in the meantime, who's this? Sarab, asking, can we earn from our cross lines as well in X4? Now, I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say cross lines, but again, keep in mind on X4, you don't receive any payments yourself from the payments that come in on those first 2 positions. The payments on the bottom row are payments that go to you. Aside from the last position that's filled, remember that is going to automatically reactivate your income slot, but you don't actually receive the payment. It's considered a instant payment from you to your upline, so that you can start the X4 over again, or start that income slot over again. Hang on, let's see this next question. Okay, this is from Galaxy S6 Edge. I want to know why some IDs are 4 digits, some are 5 and 6. Well, again, keep in mind the number of participants. We're into the 273,000 plus members, right? So it goes in sequential order. So from the first ID to the second ID, my ID happens to be, as you can see here for this account, 5346. So it's a 4-digit. And obviously, as you go into the 100,000, you're going to be a 6-digit ID number. So that's why the ID numbers are seen the way that they are. My question, who is this from? Forsage. My question is, how many IDs have been completely purchasing in slot 12 and X4? Hang on, I can show right quick. There's actually, I think Lotto uploaded, he posted. Let me open this and show you guys right quick. If I can find it without too much hassle. And this will show the statistics for the income slots that have been purchased thus far. Now, I don't know if this is the total for both X3 and X4, but I believe it is. All right, so as you guys can see the stats here, as I was like kind of spouting these off earlier, but 201,000 plus have opened up the second income slot. As I said, on income slot 3, there's been 108,000 plus that have opened up income slot 3, 55,000 that have opened up income slot 4. And as you can see, as you move up progressively, it gets lower naturally because we don't have as many people that are courageous enough to go into the higher income slots. But it does pay off. Again, you guys have to keep in mind that going to the higher income slots, well, it is going to pay you accordingly. If you have purchased and entitled yourself to the higher income slots, well, that means that your upline, or rather your downline, and maybe perhaps in some cases your upline may have to pay you as well if you rotate into a position on X4 that you're their higher partner. But again, those are the stats here, as you can see, for the slots that have been purchased. And again, 126 for X, or at least for the income slot 12. All right, let me get back to the chat here. So I'm reading through these. I'm not probably going in chronological order, but just trying to see the ones that stand out. Let's see. Or Event Asia. What hopes should we keep for us if our team is not working? Should we get spillovers from other people who are not in our team? Means can we get spillovers from the community? Yes, you can. So as I was saying on X4, it does typically when you are within a team. So again, to answer your question, if you have people who are not really growing, they're not bringing people in, it's just a part of the reality. When we share this kind of system with people, not everyone's going to come in as a leader. Obviously, a lot of people are going to come into the program and they are going to want to just be passive. If that's the case, then they need to, try to upgrade as high as they can on X4 for one, to keep the ball rolling for the other people who do fall into position on X4 as a higher partner. And again, if everyone, let's say within a team, just stays at income slot 1, well, most of that team is not going to see any movement because there's no one upgrading, right? So you could never receive a payment. Not never. Going back to your other part of the question is that yes, you can receive spillover from the entire community. In certain situations in X4, you can be rotated into as a higher partner if you've opened up that income slot, whether it's 4 or 5 or 6, and you may potentially be the higher partner to someone who's not in your lineage. That most definitely does happen. Anyways, moving on, let me answer some more of the questions. Let's see, sir, so many IDs not receive outpool income. How is it possible? Example ID 111. I'm not sure. Let me look at that ID. I'm not quite sure what you're meaning, but we'll go ahead and look at that ID. So again, as you all know, you can type in and look at any ID, effectively looking at anyone's account to get a gauge on what's going on. So again, as you can see here, this person, yeah, they've opened up now. They've come in. This is a very early on And you might be wondering, why is it that they haven't received any spillover? They have received some spillover in positions that they didn't get paid on. As you all know, like the first row, they wouldn't be getting paid on those positions. So, of course, it doesn't matter if they open up all the way to income slot 12 on X3. If they don't have any partners, there's no one coming in to pay them. All right. So that's why there's no payments there. Now, if their upline, I'm not sure who the upline here is, but if their upline isn't doing anything, ID 92, let's check and see right quick. Sorry, just running through this with you guys in real time. As I said, normally I have my co-pilot with me there. Yeah, and this person has 90, or I'm sorry, ID 92 has 4 people. That, I guess there's not really much going on with the team, as you can see, even though they're ID number 92, okay, which is way up the line. And that also just goes to show, right? Because we have many people who've come in to the program who are like 150,000th member ID, whatever it might be, and that they've already earned, tens of thousands of dollars already, right? Now, so you don't have to be first here. As you can see, a lot of these IDs, came in early on, but they didn't really do anything. And their team, apparently, that they connected with didn't do anything either, okay? So let me go back to the chat. Okay, who's this? iPad is asking, can you explain how you don't get paid with the spillover unless you buy the next slot? Well, what I mean, I think you're referring to when the income slot. Let me go to the instructions and I'll show this because there's an example that you all can also refer to. So when you look into the instructions, as you scroll down, it pretty much goes through the PDF that I showed as a PowerPoint presentation, but you can see a lot of the similar diagrams. So again, if you come down here, you can see that, you can miss payments effectively if you go through and fill up. Let's say, for example, and this does happen on X4 too, but if you fill up your income slots, or rather, if you fill up the positions on an income slot and you go through one cycle, if you haven't upgraded before the next partner comes in, then you effectively will miss the payment of that second cycle. All right. And all of the incoming payments, potential incoming payments that would come in. But if you've upgraded, now keep in mind that doesn't affect 1 through 7. Okay. In this example, where you see number 8 to 9, 1 through 7 do not and will never go into a lock pattern. That only happens to the income slot previous to the one that would be upgraded to. So again, once you've cycled through one time, you will not get any more payments until you've upgraded. All right. So that's why we want to make sure that you upgrade. And as I said before, also you will miss a payment if you have a downline, and even if it's even if it's your referral, okay, a couple of generations down, if you haven't upgraded to the next position, and let's say that your downline also has not upgraded to the next position, then you would miss that payment, and that payment of someone who's in your downline will go up to someone else, a superior partner who's way up the line that has opened up that income slot. So this is another reason, to open up those income slots, because it happens all the time, right? Where people either they don't upgrade and they stop their cycle, and those payments are going to want to try to find someone, right? And of course, well, that in this case, that will go directly to your sponsor, because typically your sponsor is going to have that income slot open. But on the next position, again, if you are in position with having opened up those income streams or paid for those income streams, then you position yourself to receive those pink colored, positions that would be filled. All right, let me go to the chat again. I hope that answers your question on that for the iPad. All right, Event Asia. Yeah, sorry, hopefully I answered your question okay. Who's this? Ritu? I think you were on the line before, and I did address the matter to Lotto, if this is the same one from before. Is it compulsory that your hired partner should upgrade the slot before us in X4 to get 100% profit? So again, your hired partner, it's not compulsory unless they don't want to miss the payment, again, it is compulsory if you don't want to miss the payment. Yeah, your hired partner, if they don't upgrade, then effectively payments that would either go to them from the recycle, or let's first off just say like when their direct downline go, they upgrade to the next position. If they haven't, then they don't get the payment. Plain and simple. And every time that their downline would go into the recycle position, right? Once the last position is filled on X4, then they also don't receive the payment. The payment's going to go up and find the next appropriate partner who does have that income slot open. So yeah, it's not compulsory, but obviously you don't want to be in line as a upline missing payments. As we already saw, like with the one example that I showed with someone who missed several payments. And yeah, that does happen from several generations down, right? Because that happened. I can show a quick example of that where it was a few generations down that I missed a payment. Let's see. So in full disclosure, I can show you guys where I goofed up also. And you don't want to goof. Nobody likes missing money. I think I was somewhat sad that day when I realized that I didn't have that payment. Where is it? Yeah, this is where it happened. Effectively, I missed 2 payments, as you can see, and someone else just missed a payment here. You saw that pop up. Also, another thing to note, as you guys can see, I just popped open this bell here on the right. Now, this is the community activity with respect to transactions that are taking place. So you guys can also, refer to that if you want to get a glance at what's going on. A lot of payments coming through this thing's moving fast. As you can see, someone just missed a payment of $185, right, from their unfortunately on X3, right? Someone purchased the income slot 6, and then they didn't get it, right, because they didn't upgrade. So that's just another example right there of, if you don't upgrade, you miss payments, and it is no fun, all right? Knowing that you missed out on $300, $400, $600 or whatever it is. In this case, for me, that happened to be, around $600 something that I, unfortunately, because I didn't upgrade, I missed out on the payment, and it went to my upline. So that was something that, you don't want to find yourself in position doing. Let me get back to the chat box, and I will close up here. I'm not going to go too long on going through all the questions, but like I said, I'll try to honor as many of these questions as I can. Who says, Benson, can you give a simple strategy, maybe target-based, to work upon a formula? Now, I guess when you're saying a simple strategy with just coming in and, what's the most effective way to make Forsage work, I would imagine. But again, you have to realize that this is a network marketing build, right? You can call it multi-level marketing, but just like with any business, as I tell people when I do the marketing Zoom calls on Saturdays, so keep an eye out for that. Apologize that I had to cancel last Saturday. I was traveling internationally, so I wasn't able to do it. But anyways, though, the best way to do this, the strategy, is to share this with people, to get past, people have maybe insecurities about sharing the program with others. But it's something that, you can leverage. What I tell people to do is to leverage other people's accounts, right? If I log out here and show, for example, my upline who came in about a month and a half before I did, boom. I mean, look at this, 300 something thousand that they've earned. So, they're doing very well. Now, if you're sharing this with other people and you show them, hey, look at the earning potential, here on this platform, with 4.5 months of growth, to see that someone's earned that much, it's amazing. Yes, they did have to put in money to purchase the income streams, but once those income streams have been purchased, it's wide open, right? And then from there, all you have to do is market it and share it with other people. And as they upgrade through the system, they are also pushing up the line. Here I'm showing the front page, again, leveraging some of these incomes. Now, this doesn't look like your actual user interface, but they aggregated it and put it into like a simple format so you can see what people are earning, what some of the top earners are earning. And again, just amazing numbers that we're seeing, right? So, you know, if you took, like, for example, I can do a quick screenshot. This is one thing that I tell people to do, like with the marketing. Do these screenshots, take them, you know, clip them, post it into, you know, wherever, whether it's your Telegram, if you have a group or group of people, you know, for example, well, I'm not going to, I guess I have a second account that I could post this to, but if I wanted to post it here, like so, right, and say that I was sending that to a friend, you know, they might look at that and think, wow, that's pretty amazing. Maybe I will sign up with that, you know, but just from a straight, you know, strategy of being sure that you come in and, like I said, upgrade as high as you can on X4, because that's your best potential for receiving payments that come in that you never know. They may, and again, especially if you're in a team that is, like I said, very active, you will find yourself receiving spillover payments on a somewhat, you know, regular basis. Again, you know, obviously sharing this with other people, as I said before, is really the best way to stay in control of the growth of this. And again, there are very few programs where you can invest $10, right? Where you tell someone that they invest $10 worth of cryptocurrency. And yeah, a lot of people, the problem is getting people into this because they're not familiar with cryptocurrency. Okay, so cryptocurrency is here to stay, right? That's something that a lot of people have to learn to acknowledge and get very confident with that, right? And be an authority, right, with respect to sharing these kind of opportunities with people, because cryptocurrency, yes, we're still a bit in the wild, wild west with regulations and all those kind of things. So we'll save that for another day. But right now, though, you know, we do have these opportunities. They are here now. And with respect to being able to take advantage of them before regulations do come in so strong that many people may not be able to position themselves as we are able to right now, right? So this is why I tell people, you know, don't kick the tires for too long with these programs. Get in here, you know, figure out what's going on, how does it work, you know, so that you can articulate the system to other people that you want to share it with, or, you know, just send them to a Zoom call like this so we can go through the breakdown of how the system works, and, you know, basically let us do the selling for you, so that they will then want to buy those income streams, and then also, you know, do the same for others. And it is definitely working, as you can see, you know, with, again, going through some of these numbers, as you can see that we've earned, or we've already gained, you know, nearly 300,000 participants in just 4 months. I mean, that's just amazing growth. You see very few programs that hit those kind of numbers. You know, a lot of people wanted to throw Forsage under the bus, and it's just not happening, right? Because we do have a very solid group of developers who are doing everything that they can to, you know, continue to enhance, you know, our business here, because this is effectively, someone asked earlier, is this a business? Forsage is not a centralized business. It's your business, right? You can take advantage of this decentralized format, right, that people can come into, again, and allows for, as I said, just knowing that you have a stable base to grow from, right? Because a lot of platforms, people, unfortunately, who are on this call have been scammed, right? You know exactly what I mean when it comes to someone taking your money from you. There are very few feelings that are worse than that, than having your savings, you know, that you spent several years like putting together, and then you put it into a program, and then that centralized program runs off with your money. Well, that can't happen here in Forsage. It does not happen. Hey guys, sorry I dropped out there. Y'all still there? Can you guys hear me out there now? Let me see if I can hear this time. All right, cool. Yeah, I got a thumbs up from HG. Getting a couple thumbs up. I appreciate you guys. Let me see if I'm also able to hear my buddy Copilot, if he's still around. Give me one sec. So I got gremlins in the system over here on my side. My apologies, everyone. I don't know what's going on with my stuff here, but anyways, I apologize for the Zoom being a little all over the place today, but you know, sometimes that's just how it goes. You just got to be able to flow with it. But regardless, again, the point that I was trying to make is that, you know, Forsage is an amazing opportunity. Let me share my screen, because I don't think I'm sharing screen. Hang on one sec. Yeah, there we go with the screen. So again, You guys, if you have stumbled upon Forsage and you're wondering, is this program a good program? Now, I'll give you my backstory right quick before I wrap this up. Now, I'm just a regular dude. Yes, I've been fortunate enough to do okay, financially in my life. I was able to start a business over in Europe where I live. And all that's well and good, but, people still want freedom of movement, right? When it comes to, having a business or, having a job, you are basically stuck in a position where you have to be there for that job, right? Whatever the case is. Now with, an opportunity like this, passive income, it allows you to do this on the go, right? What they call a laptop lifestyle, right? I've been into cryptocurrency platforms for roughly 3 years or so. Well, at least doing YouTube videos, right? Where as a YouTuber, some of you guys already know that I do this, with respect to, I have a portfolio of other programs that I've done, and then I do in conjunction with doing Forsage. But I have to say Forsage has been one of the most explosive programs that I've seen in my years of doing this. Okay. So that's why I say for people who are just, coming across this for the first time and you're wondering, is Forsage a solid program? Is it something that I should give, and put any time into? Well, individually, your own situation is your own situation, right? If you're tired of the rat race and you really are looking for an opportunity to build and grow a business, and work for yourself, because in the sense of sharing this with other people, you are definitely growing a network, and you will find leaders who are going to help push this along for you. Let me open up the chat. I see some people with either hands up or questions. But again, at the same time, Forsage may not be for everyone, right? We have a lot of people who are just going to come into this and say, oh, I don't want to do this because I have to share this with people or have to recruit people. Again, there are multiple ways to approach Forsage. But in the case of doing this, as a full-time thing, well, you can certainly grow a network and get people excited about this. There's so many people who didn't expect Forsage to go as well as it's going for them, and they're earning tens of thousands of dollars, right, per week, right? So there's no doubt about it. I mean, again, even myself, even with all the other things that I have going on, I don't even focus on Forsage 100% of the time, and I've already earned, over 20-something thousand dollars in just a few months, right? So that's definitely something to not take lightly, right? Forsage is solid, and I certainly give it my stamp of approval. Anyhow, though, I will go ahead and answer one more question if anyone has, and then I'll go ahead and close on up on top of all these technical difficulties that I had today. But regardless, it is my pleasure. Again, I definitely appreciate you guys sticking it out with me here and even jumping onto the call again, where at least I lost my side of the Zoom call and I had to Zoom pop back in. But even with all these technical difficulties and all that, it's a pleasure to be in position to share, and explain to people what Forsage is and what it's all about, and how it can be a life-changing opportunity. It already is for many people. So anyways, though, again, any questions before I close out? Again, sorry that my mic, or apparently my audio, is not working, at least with respect to getting people to be heard. I'll try one more time. I don't know why. Again, if I'm not able to hear John, I don't think I'll be able to hear anybody else, but I'll try to unmute and see if we can get one question here. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Nope. I mean, you can hear me, but I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I apologize. All right. But anyways, with that said, you guys, it was a fantastic turnout. I appreciate all of you all who were able to, again, join us for the call and even stay for the full length. We had 300, I think we maxed out our participants today. So we may have to get an extended Zoom package or get the bigger package. But hey, anyways, you guys, thank you all once again. And I will be hosting again on Saturday at the same time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US. So be sure to tune in and show up to that. And of course, look out on I'll go to the Telegram and show you guys right quick that on Forsage, the main Telegram group, if you've not already been there, please be sure that you do. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong one. But the official Forsage, be sure that you do subscribe and become a member here so that you can interact with the community, also get questions answered. If you have specific questions or things that you need, time-sensitive questions that you need answered, be sure to get on over there and become a member so that is available for you. But with that said, thank you all once again. My apologies for the mix-up with the Zoom, but hey, just got to keep it rolling. So, all right, I will talk to all of you guys real soon. Peace.